find yourself in a situation where you have given all hopes in your dreams and your aspirations, we may encounter many defeats, but never be defeated. So, join me, Leonela Jawala, on the inspirational program, My Story, as we bring you stories of people that will motivate you and uplift your spirit. Remember, you're never too old to start a new goal or even dream a new dream. So what does it mean to be in the entertainment industry for 15 good years? Yes, 15. It takes a whole lot of courage. Today, it is the story of Awuna Wahid, popularly called Wahid of Tindem fame. He is a peace ambassador, musician, songwriter, actor, and also presenter and ambassador for AfroCell, brand ambassador for AfroCell actually. I am Leonela Jola, and welcome to My Story.
For you, we country slow. We want for no. Why not they go? Yeah, you want for no. You want for no. Where to make we country they go slow. Where to make it all they grow. Yes, so go. I can for sure. Yes, I can for sure them in them way they make we know they grow. Then now we they like one but they try for go before. I beg for do ya not make us slow? No, no. If I dey try for resist them.
Like I said, Wahid Umbuya, the Tindem man is right here with me in my story today. Tindem Wahid, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Leon.
You're looking smashing, by the way.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. 15 years being in the entertainment industry. How has that journey been for you so far?
It's been, I always describe it as one that has been bittersweet. Bittersweet in the sense, I have enjoyed times in this music industry when we will release our albums and get money, like serious money, from proceeds of, selling your albums. We call it royalty. And then I've also suffered the times when piracy would not let you sell a single copy of your album. But in the, bits and pieces of all the struggle and all other things, I think I would say it has been a journey that has been successful, and because I pay more attention to the good that I've been able to do with my music.
Okay, we should talk about your successes as we go along. Now, let's start with your journey into the music field, being a musician. How did it all start for you?
For me, it was a talent I discovered at a very young age growing up, but I couldn't do it at the time because I hail from a family of 8, and my dad see me as that one son. They say when you come for land book, and he was doing everything in his power, everything in his financial strength and capability to see me through, and I attended the Buxton Methodist Primary School. I attended St. Edward's Catholic Secondary School, and also I proceeded to Fulby College, and I read some aspects of mass communication, diploma level 2002 to 2004. But in 2003, 2004, I lost my dad, and I was struggling, to continue at degree level, because from diploma level you have to do the 3-year degree level. So I had aunts and my sisters, my folks in London then, who were supposed to send me money, but then I had the issue of late fee and all that. So that year was a year of sadness for me. I lost my dad and I couldn't, and as a result I couldn't further my studies. So, but then Cool Donkey was my mentor in music. we'd met, and he had discovered that I have this talent of writing and singing as well. So before he left for Canada, Cool Donkey is the guy that does the song Salon Milan.
Salon Milan, yeah, I remember him.
Paradise. He's a friend and a brother and a mentor as well. So he left me with Kingfisher as he was traveling to Canada. Say, look, I know you want to enter the Paradise family, but then I am leaving because I'm the man who will give you that contact with Boss Jimmy. Say, but then I will leave you in the safe hands of Kingfisher. Kingfisher now tells me that he has some materials coming in water. I mean, he's going to open his own studio. So I said, well, why, proceed to Paradise, because they were about to release their compilation 2, and there were so many musicians. When Paradise came, every other musician wanted to be a part of it. So I said, yes, why not wait? So I waited 1 month turns to 2 months, 2 months turns to 3 months, for about 6 months. Finally, the Bodyguard Studios equipment touched shore, and then we cleared, and then we set up the studio together with Bondada, together with the late Shine the Godson, may so continue to rest in peace, Emerson, and of course with CEO Kingfisher as well. We opened the Bodyguard Studio, and then in that 2004, we released the Force Revolution Chapter 1. In that song, Emerson has "You with the thieves alone, mommy. If you are in a boss," if you remember that song.
Yeah, I remember.
And Bunda had "Salon Girls," then and then Let's Shine the Godson has the song which I did the chorus for. The kids, midnight lover, lover is a kid, past 8, car 8, that kind of thing. And then I had my debut, like my first recorded track, my first professional in that album in 2004. And it is titled The True Friend. It took me 2 years, 2006, to record my debut album. So it becomes song title and album title, The True Friend, where you can find the national anthem, Tindem.
So the song, Tindem,
Yes.
I think that brought you to the limelight,
Yes.
is it?
Yes.
So how was that feeling for you?
Well, I always, if I looking back in 2006 when I released the album, The True Friend, where you can find Tindem. For me, I said, if I have the experiences, if I have the knowledge, if I am this grown when I released that song, I probably be pointing at houses and other things. Because truth be told, Tindem blew me out of proportion. I was young. I'm not sure I was ready for all what Tindem brought to the table. I was really young then, struggling between school. I was still indecisive whether this is a career, whether I was just waiting for, continue my school and all that. But Tindem just set me on a path. Tindem gave me a career. It gave me a definition. He said, look, leave the love songs for people like K-Man and CJ Mark. He said, leave the political commentary for people like Emerson, and this is your part, a social commentator. Tindem just paved the way for me. A lot of United Nations opportunities, NGOs, a lot of titles, because just after I released Tindem in 2006, 2007, we had one of the most contested elections in this country. And then we formed the Artists for Peace Sierra Leone. But the person that gave me that connection was Khalilu Tutiange, who works at Communication Strategy Ministry under the Ministry of Information at that time. Khalilu came from America. He said he wanted to use my song Tindem as a signature tune at the United Nations. And then he gave me $100. I still remember that. And I gave him my blessing. He started using the song. So when we got the idea for the Artists for Peace, I went to him at Communications. He was the Chief Communications Officer at Communication Strategy, then under the Minister of Information. I went to him and he took me to Peter Ngutayong. Peter Ngutayong took me to took us to Victor Angel. And then the Artists for Peace was born. Artists for Peace, I am the spokesman. And ever since I've been partnered with so many organizations. After that election in 2007, we were labeled United Nations Peace Ambassador. Yes, because of our role. And because Sierra Leone received an award for one of the most peaceful elections conducted in West Africa. And then we, Artists for Peace, receive awards as United Nations. Well, some of us as United Nations Peace Ambassadors. Ever since I have been doing humanitarian work, I've worked with Save the Children and women and children issues. I am Women and Children Ambassador. I am lots of things.
I know. Let me take you back a little. What was growing up like for you? Share your childhood experience with us. How was it like for you back then?
I was born and raised in West Street, Henry Street. Like Remember, I took 21 years from age 1 to age 21. I went nowhere. I was just there. West Street, Henry Street. I was actually at number 18 Henry Street. People who know Henry Street, who are listening now, they know what I'm saying. And then that was where we had my family. And then it was a neighborhood that was full of social life. I was neighbor to Shakji, the late Shakji who lived at Charles Street. I was also neighbor to CJ Mark, and they live at Sanders Street at the time. And then Caldinero lived at Kuto Road at that time. And they had the Word Up Society, which later transformed to Black Leo Society. It was Word Up Society with Slares, Shagji, and then because we have people like Mega Rap Caesar, Rankin Fessy, and then Cool Donkey, and then we have the X-Clan Posey, the X-Boot Posse. All of these were social clubs, and then Huzorex, they have this and that at that time. We had lots of musical competitions growing up. So I grew up in a social area where football and provocation and social life were the order of the day. It's really hard, to single out kids or people who would further education. It was really a social area. But then Cool Donkey did. I met Sahid Naswala, the monk. We all grew up together. Did. They all further their cause there for their education to Fulby College. So some of us followed suit. It was an area that was wide. It was lovely. We had so many shows at Brookfield Hotel, Phase 2, All Nation, all of these places. We party a lot. I party a lot.
So when did you decide to go into music? Like, okay, my path is to go into music. I want to be a musician. Was it at that point when growing up that you decided that you want to be a musician?
Well, another part that I left out was my religious side. I was this kid also that I learned the Quran. My dad wanted me to learn some aspect of the Quran, and then I started singing at masjid level. I remember my Jamiatul Sharif, that is the Circular Road Mosque. I was a student there, and what would happen during Ramadan, we would do carol services. So I started singing at Jama level, and then later on I joined the Al Fatah Muslim Youth Organization. Then I started singing professionally. I started acting and singing professionally because we recorded several albums under the Al Fatah Muslim Youth Organization. And then we had the director for Miata Cultural Theatre, who's an MPhil holder, Uthman Kamara, who works at Maritime now, who was directing. So I started my professional acting career and music there. So that forms the background. It was a community that was mixed. We were religious, we were social, we were like everything. We played football and all of that. But at the end of the day, it's finding your balance in between all of that, because it's easy. It's easy. You could be tempted to go the other way, the social way, because we have lots of people playing football, lots of people in the social limelight in that community. Even Akman hailed from that community, but they were the younger ones. They were the younger generation. So because Akman grew up from William Street, it's the same neighborhood I'm speaking about. So I think for me, the proper definition came when I lost my dad. Yes, because at the end of the day, my dad wouldn't let me do music officially. I was hiding most of the time to do these competitions, and people were coming to me to write because they discovered that I was a good writer. I was a good singer. I even used to rap before. So, but my dad wanted me to, okay, you are that one child that's going to make the family proud. You ate count for book, land, and prepare to pay. And honestly, I just love when it comes to education. That's why I support the first gentleman's, priority agenda for education. And I've been supporting also in my musical career. I've been doing stuff with education. I love education as well. But then when he died, like I said, I struggled to continue because I had, that 2 years diploma. But then I wanted to further because honestly, I was thinking law.
Oh.
Yes, I was thinking law and other things because a lot of people keep telling me, man, you are a talker. The way you talk, so you can be a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't let that get to my head. But I kind of feel like during St. Edward Secondary School, the literary and debating society, I've always been a talker. I mean, I love the argument. So I feel like that kind of feel. But in life, I believe we all have a calling. We all have a purpose. And I believe even as we speak, perhaps music is not the only thing that I'm called for. I believe I'm called
So
for higher things.
Do you have other talents hidden in you that we don't know about?
Yeah, I think there's lots of things. First of all, what I'm doing with my music is advocacy. I think that's my real. That's the real deal. You understand? I've been advocating for lots of stuffs in this country. I've been touring this country, crisscrossing, rough, rugged parts of this country to make sure we have peace during elections, to make sure women and children have health facilities under the Save Everyone Save the Children, to make sure people get the information when it comes to Ebola, sensitization, like lots of other things, agriculture and stuff. So really, music is just like that platform. What I'm really doing with the music is under advocacy. So I believe, and it's not by mistake that I'm working with so many civil society organizations. It's not by mistake that I'm doing what I'm doing, because sometimes people ask me, why do you always sing this kind of songs, like to give courage to people, to give hope? I say, this is how I feel as a person. So I feel my hidden talents, they are not hidden, because everybody knows I'm a talker.
Well, let me hold you there. This is my story, and it is the story of Awuna Wahid, popularly called, right now is called Sawai.
Yeah.
I wonder why it changed to that. And let's go in for a break. We shall be right back. Do you find yourself in a situation where you have given all hopes in your dreams and your aspirations? We may encounter many defeats, but never be defeated. So, join me, Leonela Jawala, on the inspirational program, My Story, as we bring you stories of people that will motivate you and uplift your spirit. Remember, you're never too old to start a new goal or even dream a new dream.
I am Wahid, and this is my story.
Okay, welcome back, and this is my story, the story of Wahid of Tindem fame, the smashing Wahid. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you are an early star in the Sierra Leone entertainment industry, the music industry. How much success has music brought to you so far? What are some of the achievements made? Or let's talk about your awards and all that. I know you don't want to brag here, but I'm sure music has brought you successes. So what are some of your success? Share your success story.
Yeah, I think Team Them gave me lots of awards. I remember when Sky 106.6 FM, because that during 2006, 2007, when we released Sky, was that radio station. If your song is not played there, then you got a problem. Like DJs like Foxy the Grandpapa had the Sky Top 10. I think I remember I topped the chart for like 10 weeks, and FC Macan were the sponsors, official sponsors. I remember Mr. Conte, who works for FC Macan at that time, every week, because they would give you like a small sum. I think it's 100,000 plus one crate Coca-Cola, or cold storage products, like one crate. I remember I was going there like 1, 2, 3 weeks, and at some point I would say, look man, I'm tired with you. Until now you say, if I didn't give you, because one of the things, it's always difficult for me to get back that crate. So they struggle with getting their crates back and empties. So he said, now look, I'm gonna give you your 100,000, and I'll give you an equivalent of that crate. I'll give you the money, because you don't come in my empties, you don't come in my crate. And then we'll sit down, we'll talk, and that's how we became friends. So in short, I made lots of friends, because of the Team Them. When they say if you wash your hands clean, and Team Them is that song that just washes my hands, very clean. So I ate with lots of personalities.
Nice.
I remember one of the things I'm so proud of was the late ex-president, President Ahmed Jankaba. I think it was the final birthday he celebrated before, God took him from this earth. I remember IJ came to me and said, Wahid, we want you to be properly suited, and of course Gertrude Karimo at the time, yes, they approached me and said, we want you to be properly suited. I said, because you are the surprise package. I was like, what do you mean? And they said, no, we have bands from all over the world playing, but you are the only Sierra Leone artist. And in fact, you are not in the program. And so the former excellency, does not know about it. But then he said if he was in the bathroom when when he was alive, he would joke, that's why that Bobo talk and so for the thing that he loved the song, and so.
So how can you describe your kind of music?
I think it's social commentary. I look at issues that affect social issues that affect society. If you listen to Santa and Rich, I'm just trying to pinpoint like things that we do subconsciously or consciously that affect society that we do not know about.
Okay.
Things that we probably we just do, we take for granted with a pinch of salt, but then it filtered down to the next person being hot, seriously hot, to a point where they could be distracted, lost focus.
Tells everyday life.
Exactly. So I look at those issues and try to bring them out so that we understand that these things are creating problems for society, but also try to create a possible solution going forward.
So joining the SKP record label, has that bring any changes for you?
Yes, because like I said, it started with Bodyguard Studio 2004. 2006 I released the Team Them album, and then 2007 I teamed up with CJ Mark, SKP colleague CJ Mark, to form the Artists of Peace. But then in 2009, CJ Mark recommended me ex-project, also recommended me to Sam Cargo to join the Sam Cargo production. Now, what does that brought to the table is experience, wealth of experience, being able to go to Nigeria. We all know how the Nigerian industry is influencing our own here. So being able to cross over to Nigeria, work with artists that we admire, we idolize, to see how they do their own things, see how they're getting it right, to be in that platform. And also I recorded 2 albums with the SKP. I've recorded 2 albums with the SKP record label. First is the Unification, where you can find Santa and Rich, Noah, They Don't Know, That's Me, all hits, and of course the Free Publicity, where you have free publicity and Hold On, and so many other songs.
Okay.
But we think that 4 or 5 years, just going back and forth Nigeria, brought a lot. It brought a lot of hype to my personality, but most importantly, wealth of experience, being able to work with Nigerian producers, understand firsthand. I also worked with Clarence Peters when they were shooting the Azuka video. Clarence Peters, we all know
Nigerian director.
Yes, he's the magician behind all the Nigerian beautiful videos. So I worked with him, and like just gathering all of this, bringing home, being able to impart it to some of our musicians here. I think it's just awesome.
Tell us about the Like Mind record label. Is it a record label?
Yes. So the Like Minds, people keep asking me. We hear Like Minds, because Like Minds actually empowering this 15-year celebration. We hear Like Minds. Are you not a part of the SKP? I say no. On the SKP, I am a signed artist, and there's a little I can do with helping other people. Because I was signed. If I go to Sam Cargo, because Sam Cargo production, Sam Cargo is actually a Sierra Leonean barrister based in Nigeria that, say, okay, let me help Sierra Leoneans. He has been here, shot lots of movies like Blood Diamonds, different stuff. He's done a lot, If I go to him and say, I want to bring this artist on board, he say, look, you were recommended in the sign, I don't know if you have. But at the end of the day, that would be a long shot. So I said, let me form at this stage of my career, especially now that I'm SAR. I'm sorry. Yes, I feel because way back in 2004, Kingfisher lent me a helping hand. In 2009, Sam Cargo lent me a helping hand, and people have been helping my career. So I feel like it's time to pay back. It's time to help others. So I formed the Like Minds, and I got on the I have J2B and Nadia as the only artist. Now I intend to grow as God bless, blesses us financially.
So how has your music impacted the society in general?
I think when we look at the just concluded elections, there is this one song that IRN embarrassed and exhausted.
Which one is that?
Yeah, Bokupa. And the question we ask now, we back get the answer. We really crack the gumbe bata. Well, now we back now the dancers. That song, I think, is all what it just form or it just form part of what I do on the social commentary thing. So Team Them, if you want to be honest with me, it has stood the test of time.
Yeah, indeed.
I say it stood though as a national anthem in this country. You know, everywhere it's still form the signature tune for most developmental programs in both televisions and radio stations. But that is because of the content, and that is how much impact it has created. Move from there, you go to Santon Ridge, songs like Hold On, you know,
They've created
lots
a whole lot of
exactly,
impact.
and that song, that election song, you know, it teaches us that what are the reasons we should not go behind the tribal, the regional, or political line. We should look for this person whom
So
we know
quickly,
that
tell
will
us
help us
about
change
the
this country.
15 years celebration, being in the entertainment field for 15 years. What's the celebration like? What's in store for your fans?
First off, I think 15 years would not have been possible without lots of other people. So it's also celebrating the DJs that have played my song over the years. Up to now, my colleague musicians who've been there, Kingfisher, who picked me up at Bodyguard Studio, the Artists for Peace, who gave us that, you know, United Nations, you know, touch, that ambassadorial touch. It also my colleagues in the industry, President Collabo, who has been there, the argument, CJ Mark, it's Emerson, a friend, it's Camouflage, it's X Project, it's SKP, it's lots of things that we're celebrating that night. We're celebrating the entertainment industry. It just happens that
When
Wahid
is
is
the
at the front.
celebration going
It's
to be?
happening March 29, that is this Friday. This Friday, of course, Paradise City, Paradise Garden, Lomond Beach. For just 30,000 for my friends and 250,000 for VIP personalities. But it's an evening.
So what should we expect to see on
Yes,
that day?
it's going to be a live band performance. Like Extreme Band will be in attendance, and of course, you're going to see every member of this entertainment industry. You just say who you like, and I'll tell you, he or she would be there. Because at the end of, like I said, it's celebrating lots and lots of things. 15 years is not 15 days. It's not
Exactly.
15 weeks. It's 15 years. So I've come a long way, and I've come along with lots of other people whom are tagging along to come and help make this night a night to remember.
All right, you've been in the entertainment field for 15 years. What advice would you want to give young artists or people that look up to you as a motivator?
I feel, first of all, you should set up a purpose. You should have a purpose. When in 2007 we defined our role and purpose in this industry, we said we were going to be neutral so that we would be able to channel issues of people who are suffering in this country as opposed to taking sides with politicians. That was a clear purpose, and I think one of the reasons why my brand has been consistent, why Africell want to associate with that brand, why other companies, other NGOs want to associate, is because I've been consistent when it comes to neutrality and delivery.
Okay.
I think you have to set up a purpose. Yours might not be mine, but you have to set up a purpose, set up a brand. Have a brand, have something you stand for, because they say if you don't stand for something, you would fall for anything.
Alright.
Have something you stand for, but most importantly, I tell you what raises any man, whether you're a singer, a journalist, whether you're a banker, is humility. Because if we want to do the work of God, then we have a problem with God. Because God said it is my job to lift you up. Your own job is to humble yourself. He said, humble yourself and I will lift you up. So humility is the key to success. And then make good relationships and keep them. And then be focused. Make sure every day
Thank you.
try to improve your talent.
Thank you so very much, Sir Wahid. How is family life? Because I see something on your finger.
Yeah, I'm proudly married.
Wow,
Yes,
congratulations.
and it just happened. I think it's all part of the achievement
Okay.
in the 15 years. February
This is
14th,
the lucky woman.
Valentine's Day. Lots of people were busy giving their loved one flowers. And I
This
was
is the
giving my
lucky
wife a
woman.
ring. Mira Koroma, now Mira.
Okay, I think the
CSP, Chief
CSP,
yes,
Chief
please.
Superintendent,
Yes,
okay.
former head of FSU. I think that's what everybody knows. That.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, and your sense of fashion. What's your style?
I think I try to be African and just try to do what's happening in the rest of the world and
Alright.
blend it locally. So, add a little bit of local content and
Okay, I wish you all the best. Let's do some success.
Yes, thank you very
All
much.
right,
To
cheers
15
to
years.
you. Wish
And to
all the
you, a
best.
successful journalist, because I've
Thank
watched
you.
your journey, you too. I mean, we should do your story too. You're
I'll
one hell
gladly
of a
tell.
success.
Thank you so very much. I
Cheers,
wish
cheers,
you all
cheers.
the best.
Cheers.
Well, that's how we end my story for today. It has been the story of Sir Wahid, Aruna Wahid Dumbuya of Tindem fame, and hope you all have got yourself inspired. Don't forget to join me same time, same station. I am Leonel Jawara. Thank you for watching. Do you find yourself in a situation where you have given all hopes in your dreams and your aspirations? We may encounter many defeats, but never be defeated. So, join me, Leonel Jawara, on the inspirational program, My Story, as we bring you stories of people that will motivate you and uplift your spirit. Remember, you're never too old to start a new goal or even dream.